LBA Expo, and I'm excited to have alongside with me Gus Cabrera. I mean, gentlemen, ladies, this man makes it happen every single day for the LBA. And Gus, you haven't had a chance to hear what everyone has to say about the LBA, but I've been making sure that I ask them about what the LBA means to them. We've had on about 7 or 8 people already today, and I got to tell you, everyone mentions you, number one, by name. Number two, everyone mentions how important the LBA is to our community. What does the LBA mean to you?
Well, as far as this event, I'm just trying to keep up with you. You know, GlobalPro, when you mentioned or you indicated, you and Matt, that you were going to be part of this event, you guys don't do anything halfway. And, you know, and today is a perfect example of that. To your question, what does the LBA mean to me? I think the LBA is really captures 4 essential things that services or benefits that we provide. The easiest one is the company that joins simply because they want more business, right? That's a natural one. Then there are those that maybe have enough business today, but are looking 18 months down the line to try to create that pipeline of work, if you will. We have a strong influence in the political world, and sometimes it's a lot easier to participate in one of our events and get some face time with an elected or an appointed official than to go organically try to create a meeting. But the fourth component of that benefit is really my favorite one. It's this. It's building relationships and long-lasting friendships with people like you, with all our members, that transcend just business, right? I always think that it's a lot easier to do business with friends than it is with, you know, folks that you don't know. And when you're able to not only participate in an association like ours and compare notes, but also add the component of doing business, I think that's really the goal, and that's really the great benefit that we provide as a group.
I mean, for us, it's always been about whether or not the organization reciprocates. And you never want to be in a one-way relationship, right? Whether in life or business or pretty much anywhere else. We're always looking for organizations that reciprocate. And the reciprocation with the LBA has been tremendous. When we had this idea, it wasn't just about us setting up. Next thing you know, they're bringing in a wire for us to be able to live stream this to support our energy and our ideas. There was a reciprocal nature of it. Your willingness to sit down here with me and talk with me about these things. You don't find that in every organization. And I know you belong to other organizations and you participate at the legislative level, it's local, state, whatever it is. But that reciprocal nature, but the reciprocation doesn't even, not only just with the organization themselves, but with the other members, like you mentioned. We noticed that the other members want to participate in what we have going on here and then drag me over to their booth to show me what's going on with their stuff. Like, you have that energy, you have the reciprocal nature of it, and I think that's where you get the benefit of being in an organization like this, and it's been awesome. But outside of your role with LBA, you do participate in the politics, and which is important, right? In construction, having grown up in it, we all know politics is important to development and progress, right? Talk to us a little bit about what's going on. I mean, right now the political environment is crazy, if I had to use a word for it. Ever changing, if you will. Where do you see the changes going on? I mean, I was just up on a panel talking about, you know, the changes made after the tragedy of Surfside and things like that. How do you see those things evolving for the construction industry? Yeah, well, I think, you know, there's a line. I have a friend of mine that's from West Virginia, and he says, in a coal miner's town, everybody has dirt on their face. And our coal mines is politics in South Florida. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody has a take. And you're right. I think you're seeing more top-down involvement in politics. You're seeing the state legislators get involved at local levels. Politics is becoming more seamless, where what's happening at the local level is permutating or, you know, encroaching into the national politics as well. Absolutely.
So what, you know, I think part of the struggle that we find on some of these legislative initiatives and conversations that are taking place is the opportunity to participate timely and offer, you know, your take on a particular legislation, on a particular angle of a legislation. You're seeing it at the state level. You're seeing it, you know, the governor of Florida has really been very involved in you know, what he sees as the transformation of Florida into a freer state. I can commend him a lot. I think he's been really a thought leader in applying those freedom policies to even local governments. I think at the local level, what we are seeing is a transitional to a new generation of elected leaders. If you look at the county commission, really the last county commission, or the county commission that was elected that's been seated after this last November election, is the first county commission that has new participants. For a long time, before term limits, you basically had the same elected officials every cycle, right? It was a strength. It's a strength to be an incumbent, and they run on that. This last election cycle really seated a brand new commission, and with that brand new commission, you have different ideas and different initiatives, which are great. They're part of that process as well. So we're trying to absorb that narrative and absorb the direction they want to take the county and work with them. I think I'm encouraged. One thing that I'm very encouraged by, combination between the state and the county, is how there's been a lot of focus on helping developers or incentivizing developers to apply more, to build more workforce housing. I think that's a solution to the housing, or part of the solution to the housing crisis. And some of the adjustments that have happened at the state level, I think, will move the needle there.
Well, you made a comment about how this isn't just a local issue anymore. A lot of these local issues are getting attention on the big stage, if you will. I think particularly Florida in itself, right? And I think a lot of that, there's a lot of interest at the local political issues that are impacting South Florida is in fact making its way to the political stage. And we're here at the Latin Builders Association Expo, right here on the floor doing a live interview. We have all these vendors behind us and the equipment and all the other industry experts, developers and contractors alike are all here coming together to share ideas and thoughts. We have politicians themselves, we have mayors and commissioners that have joined you. And I think that commends you to be able to bring all these minds together to look at these issues differently. And while we may not all agree on many of the different issues, we're here to focus on what's impacting the construction industry, what's impacting builders and developers and our local communities to continue to fuel that progress, right? Because we've seen so much opportunity in the last few years here in South Florida with the great migration and things like that. And I definitely personally believe that LBA has been right there in the center of it, helping move things along and fuel that progress in many different ways. And it's dealing with road issues or dealing with infrastructure projects, or myself. Yeah. I had a relatively smaller project in Alapata. You guys have been so easy to open up the doors to help us, give us information, introduce me to so many different people to help with those things. I think it's been great. But I got a really important question. Have you voted on which booth is the best yet?
I know you're enticing me with some of your your fun drinks, which have been great, which is a great idea. I think you may be the leader in the clubhouse.
All right.
For me, but
you heard it right here.
That's right. But to go back to your previous comment, I think one of the things that we really try to do, and you and I have talked about this a lot, right? Yeah. It's the LBA should be seen, metaphorically as the app store. We're the app store. Apple doesn't make any apps, but what they do is they build this ecosystem where the app developer and the consumer come together to find themselves. And that's what I think we've tried to do. It's build a robust as possible ecosystem for companies like GlobalPro that are not only a participant in the community and in the business community, but also have a responsibility. We have a responsibility to companies like you to step up our game, to provide opportunities just beyond simply a membership, to help develop and help you thrive. Companies like GlobalPro only need a nudge, and then you run with it.
Yes, we try.
You're a master marketer, backed up by substance. You know your stuff, and that's why you're the only. I want to congratulate you. You're the only double panelist in today's event. You participated
I didn't even know that.
in the Lessons from Surfside.
Heck
and we look forward to your future of insurance, which I know that you're going to be very vocal about because you have a lot of ideas and a lot of initiatives that you follow closely on that front. So that's what we try to do. I think the more connections we make, the more relationships we build, that's how we advance not only our association, but frankly, our community.
What was your expectation when you guys were putting this together? What was your expectation for the vendors that are participating, making the investment like we did in participating in the show? What is your expectation for them?
Well, up to about 7 a.m. this morning, I thought it was going to be a complete bust.
Okay.
You know, I think I managed through chaos and negativity sometimes to fuel my focus. My goal was really, and our goal was really, to give an opportunity to companies like yours, and even smaller businesses that are part of our association, an opportunity to showcase their products and services. Yep. It's difficult when you're running a business day in and day out to pop your head up and try to develop those connections that then fuel the next business opportunity. So creating a scenario such as this one, or an event such as this one, where a company's product can be seen by the 1,000+ guests that we've had today, and be able for them to really showcase their product in the best light, or their services in the best light, that checks the box for me. Beyond the financial performance of the event and how many elected officials come or don't come, the fact that companies that are members of the LBA have an opportunity to connect to one another, show what they do, how they do it, and really advance their marketing and business development opportunities. You know, I think ultimately that's really, if we can accomplish that, the event is a success.
Well, I will tell you already, between the time I got here to that panel to now, we've had on, like I said, 7 or 8 different people to talk about different things. But even in all of that, I've been able to connect and learn about some new products, and just even some right across from us here. We're actually looking to put interactive screens in our office space and stuff like that, so I was able to get some information from them, walked over there, fireside chat right over here, talking about the future commercial office space, one of the consideration for one of our development properties that we had. Yep. You know, it's interesting. There's just a mech of information here. It's been incredible. I've gotten much of that already. I know we're just starting.
Yep.
The drinks are starting to be made.
That's right.
The food will come out soon, hopefully. And I think everyone's enjoying it. I mean, it just seems like people have an energy despite all the negativity I think that you see in the marketplace. There's a lot of positivity right here, and honestly, I credit you and the rest of the board for that. I mean, it's been incredible, and thank you. Obviously, getting this opportunity to be able to do this show right here live on the floor.
Yeah, this is great. This is officially my second time on the on the activity on your podcast, so which is great. So, and I think, listen, I think I want to thank you as well, because when GlobalPro does a marketing event, does an event with their marketing team, you guys always bring your A game, and frankly, when people see GlobalPro is participating, they step up their game. And listen, you've had a great booth. I think if you don't win it, you're in the top 3. It's great to have you. It's great to have you and your team. Your team is always so generous with their time and the way they engage and interact with all our other members. It's really such a positive experience, and I thank you. Yep. I'm glad you're part of not only this event, but of our board and our association. And I can't really wait to what you're going to do for the fishing tournament. That's going to be over the top.
Got some ideas. We'll get us close to our best a little bit, but I think we're going to be bringing it pretty heavy this year. We're excited about it. Matt's got some wild ideas, as you know. But the marketing team's just definitely been spooling up for that, whether it's the giveaways or the event that we're actually putting on. So awesome. We're always looking for it. Thank you, Gus. Thank you so much for joining us. Cheers to your success and to the success of LBA.
Thank you for being part of the LBA.
Yes, thank you so much. And I had to take a sip of that because it tastes so damn good.
But it's good.
I'm going to wrap up on that note. Thank you all for continuing to tune in right here live at the LBA Expo on the floor. We're going to continue to bring amazing guests. We're just grabbing people off the floor to talk about things that are going on. This is an awesome session to sit down, second session to sit down with Gus, talk about the LBA, how important the memberships are and everything else. So Gus, thank you so much for your time. I know it's limited, and I really do appreciate you spending some time with us talking about all these things. I think more people need to know what's going on with the LBA. So check them out online, and if you don't know where the Expo is, there's a lot of links and all the things that we're posting. Go ahead and click there and check it out. Thank you again, Gus.
Thank you, Dan.
All right. Take care, man.
Awesome.